Hey, Delishees, grab a plate and feast on the delicious culture. I'm your host, Jon Francois. Oh my God, we are feasting on food, pop culture, and the 16 Oscar-nominated movie Sinners with my sister, Nathalie, who returns to us. You may have remembered she was on the Love is Blind Season 9 recap episode. Hi, Nathalie.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Delishees. I'm happy to be back.
I know, and that recap was like just a few weeks ago, and already they're doing the weddings episode for season 10 tonight.
I know.
And yeah, and I recently saw you in Connecticut over the weekend when me and my wife Tony went to visit to see some theater. And yeah, you have not seen the season yet.
No, they keep coming out with these seasons like nobody's business. And by the time like I even catch wind and have a second to breathe, they're already done with the season, which I mean works for the binge like watcher and me. But still, it's like, are they coming out faster? I just feel like they are. They're coming out faster. Where do they find these people so quickly?
I don't know. I mean, so I think this recent season came out around Valentine's Day, which makes sense. It's Love is Blind.
Yeah.
I don't remember when season 9 came out, but it seems like they're kind of doing it like Survivor, where it's like 2 or 3 seasons a year, because, you know, it's pretty easy to make these shows. You just get a bunch of attention hungry people who want love, or maybe more so want social media influencer type of attention. And then boom, you put them in pods and you give them drama and there you go. But for this season, it's okay. Like you get little bits of drama here and there. I will say there seems to be a lot more chances for genuine love and successful marriages to happen this season than last season. So in case you do watch season 10, just look for a likelier chance that people are happy.
Okay. And I think it's interesting because I was actually watching something about dating in this day and age. And I think like shows like Love is Blind and Love Island definitely have an influence on dating. So I'm very curious to see how this season is compared to last season. But I think the overall conversation that people might want to consider is like, what has dating turned into? And why are there so many people that are like they're afraid to commit to marriage, but they like sign up for shows like this, you know?
Yeah. It's. I mean, all I have to say is I'm glad I'm not dating in this
Yeah,
day
you're
and
all
age.
set.
Yeah. I've been married for a few years, so I'm gladly off the market and away from all that stress. But not only is Natalie joining us, but her good friend Diane. Hello, Diane.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be on. It's my first time.
I was just thinking about this. You, Natalie, and I guess myself as well. We've known you for how long? 20 years?
I stopped counting after 20.
Yeah. Because you guys met I know you guys met in elementary school. So that must have been like 2002, 2003, 2004, something like that.
Yeah. A million years ago.
And you two seem very like, oh my God, how much time has passed by? What the heck?
Yeah. That's my bestie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's friends for life, soul sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. All right. Well, let's get into it. So let's start with the food part. Nathalie, how about you? We literally caught you in the middle of lunch, even though it's like 5:40 p.m. Maybe what you ate was a favorite meal you had in the past week, or it could have been something else. What was a delicious meal you had in the past week that you liked?
So I've been really obsessed with like my breakfasts. I work a lot, like, and my schedule in the morning fluctuates. So there are many mornings where I don't get to eat breakfast, but I've been really committed to eating like a solid meal. And so I've been obsessed with my little concoction of like English muffin, peanut butter, banana, and honey. Like that's been my jam. Yeah, it's really simple, but like, trust me, if you haven't tried like banana and peanut butter on an English muffin, I do also put like a layer of butter under the peanut butter for some and then drizzle honey. If you haven't tried that, I highly recommend it. There's protein, there's fruit, and then you get your carbs. It's like so well balanced, and it definitely helps me feel fueled for the day. So that's what I've been obsessed with.
So is that something that you thought of on your own? Is that like a sort of a recipe that you found online? Like how did you discover that whole combination of the English muffin and the honey and the peanut butter and the banana?
So when I was like a barista, back in the day, my first job, we sold like bagels and everybody would come in for the bagel sandwiches. But
Mhm.
I had this one customer that once put in an order to have English muffin. We had bananas for sale because we had bananas in our cafe. English muffin, banana, honey, and peanut butter on yeah, just
Mm.
all together. So
Yeah.
when I like was making it, I was like, wow, this seems like it would be really good. Like I've always
Mhm.
who doesn't like peanut? I know people are allergic, but like peanut butter is a staple. Even English muffins are really, really good. So I just decided to try it and I fell in love, honestly. And now I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm not just doing a Thomas English muffin. No. I'm doing a gourmet English muffin. That's how serious I am about it.
Wait, define a gourmet English muffin. Is a gourmet like what are we talking about? By size, by how healthy it is compared to a Thomas English muffin? Like what does it look like and taste like compared to a Thomas?
So like Thomas, everybody in English muffin world, like if you know of English muffins, and I love the fact that I'm even talking about English muffins like this, but the community of English muffin lovers, we all know Thomas. That's like
Yeah.
the one English muffin brand that comes to mind.
That's all I know.
It's the McDonald's of English muffins,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all like Diane said, that's all sometimes people know of English muffins. But um I I changed from Thomas to this locally sourced English muffin brand and they only make English muffins and they'll have like different kinds of English muffins. So right now in my like collection of English muffins in the fridge, I have cinnamon raisin and I have it's like a garlic and herb English muffin.
Wow.
So that's what I mean by gourmet. It's like locally made. I think the people that make it, they're like from Mass. Don't quote me on that. And I wish I had the name. I would share it. I
Yeah.
promise. I'm not gatekeeping. But yeah, like they just have different styles of English muffins. So I've been really obsessed with their cinnamon raisin, and that's the English muffin that I now use for my like banana, peanut butter, honey concoction. But their plain is also really good. And with their rosemary, or no, their garlic and herb, I've been using that for sandwiches and I've been obsessed with that too.
That sounds good.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it filling? Because I think of like I mean, yes, you have the honey, you have the peanut butter and the banana, but I think of an English muffin and I think of the size of an English muffin, unless, I don't know, I think Thomas came out with like the supersized English muffins that I've seen like once or twice in the grocery store. Like, is this a filling kind of breakfast or is it more of like a tasty kind of breakfast to you? Like, I'm wondering if the English muffin might be too small if I in case I want to try this.
It's a good point. Like, I definitely, especially when it comes to like English muffin sandwiches, I'll eat one and then I'll be looking at my English muffins like maybe I should make another sandwich. But when it comes to the breakfast, it is filling for me, but only because like I also like eat in segments. So like I'll start with like a bowl of fruit. So I'll have a
Yeah.
bowl of fruit first. And then like when it's actually time for me to eat like breakfast, when I'm like fully hungry for breakfast, that's when I'll have the English muffin. But the fruit holds me down. And sometimes I'll like pair it with like a protein smoothie or something. Like I've been really liking the Chobani protein smoothies.
Yeah.
And the Siggy's ones. So I'll have all of that together. It's not going to hold me down like through lunch. So I definitely have to eat lunch, but it is good for me in terms of like my portion sizes. If you have like bigger portion sizes, you might want to add in another English
All
muffin.
right. Good to know. Good to know.
Mhm.
Speaking of Chobani, I like their protein yogurt drinks. I had to stop drinking them because I would like drink them like while I was Uber and Lyft driving. I do that to pay the bills outside of this. And I would go to the bathroom like maybe every hour or so because the protein just like goes right through me like nobody's business. But they are good. So I will vouch for anything Chobani.
Yeah, those are the exact ones I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Diane, what about you? A favorite delicious meal that you've had in the past week?
Um, I would say I had a really good rasta pasta kind of dish from 881 Grab and Go. They're really, really good. They're a local business here in Hartford, and so they do a lot for the community. So I'm really proud to shout them out. But I had a really good pasta dish from them. I'm craving for next
Rasta
weekend. Mhm.
Rasta pasta. What is
Mhm.
rasta pasta? Like,
Oh,
why is it
Ah,
called that? Like, what is it shaped like? What does it taste like? Like,
it
what's
it's like maybe Nat would describe it better than I can because I just
right?
know it to be like a creamy pasta with, cooked veg, like peppers, and you can pick a protein with it. So I like to stick with oxtail, but you can put jerk chicken with it,
Oh,
salmon, and it's so yummy. If you like mac and cheese, you'll probably love Rasta pasta.
okay, okay.
Mhm.
I mean, because you had mentioned oxtail, and already I'm thinking like, is there like a Afro Caribbean or
Oh, yeah.
Jamaican sort of influence in the
It's a
pasta as well?
Caribbean yep, it's a West Indian dish for sure. I think Jamaicans, it's a standard
mhm.
Jamaican dish, yeah.
Oh God.
Mhm.
Okay, and where is it again? What's the place?
881 Grab and Go in Hartford. They're on New Britain
Okay.
Ave. Mhm. Yeah.
And do the how are the portion sizes? Like pretty good or
They're good, yeah, it surprises you because you think that their, to-go boxes are pretty small, but they fill that up to the brim, like, even more so, so it like, anytime I, tell anybody to go, they immediately think they should order, like, maybe that and a side, because they don't just serve Rasta pasta, they serve other Caribbean dishes, but
Mhm.
any, like, single dish that you have, you'll be surprised at how filling it is. I can never finish, like, a whole plate from them, but I am
Did
also a
you
small person, so
how did you find this? Word of mouth? Did you discover it on your own? Like
I would say word of mouth. Again, they're really involved with the community, so they, sometimes they do catering for certain events. I know they recently did a Juneteenth event, for West Hartford Teen Center.
yeah.
So that word of mouth, I would say.
Oh, God, that's so delicious. Yeah, no, I'm just having like a mix of thoughts when you're describing the rasta pasta and the oxtail and whatnot. The first thought was when Tony and I were in Connecticut over the recent weekend to see some theater at the Bushnell in Hartford. We went to this place called Selou, which is an Italian restaurant, and they had like this pasta with vodka sauce, which is great. I don't know, there's just something about like when you see like pasta and vodka sauce on a menu that you think, oh, if you are a specialty Italian cuisine restaurant and you serve that, it's going to be good. And they did not disappoint. So that's what I was thinking of when you were thinking of the Rasta pasta. And then I was also thinking of like the Afro Caribbean place that we went to in Manchester, New Hampshire when we went there for Halloween. Like we went to see a bunch of Halloween attractions, and there was this like really small Afro Caribbean spot. This wonderful woman with this hairnet. I mean, she seemed like, I don't know, mom with like 5 or 6 kids, and she just has this small mom and pop business, and she
Mhm.
serves like the best beans and jerk chicken and mac and cheese and just really like I don't know, homegrown, oh, multicultural ethnic cuisine kind of thing. So I
Mhm.
gotta I gotta go to this Rasa Pasa place that you're talking about. It sounds really delightful. Okay.
Yeah, there's more than just that too. We should definitely go get some rasta pasta when you come
Yes.
visit.
Ah, yeah. How about pop culture? Natalie, what is a delicious TV show, movie, play, music, book, anything that you're consuming lately that you are loving?
So for the Delishees that don't know, I am actually participating in Lent right now, and one
Oh,
of
yeah.
my things that I gave up was streaming services. So my like pop culture right now has been dwindled down to like YouTube. And that is arguably some may say like I'm cheating by even still using YouTube. CJ will say
Yeah.
that, our brother. He would say that I'm cheating. So yeah, I have really been enjoying 2 different, channels, on YouTube. One is John Oliver. I love John Oliver.
Yeah. Yeah.
John Oliver is hilarious, great way to get, like, information that's not depressing.
Mm.
Um, only mildly depressing with some laughs, but, like, he definitely balances out with the laughs. But then also, this was actually a recommendation from Diane. There is this YouTuber called FD Signifier, and I've been also watching some of his videos. He has a format where he's like it's like video essays. So he takes a topic, usually a pop culture topic, and he kind of breaks it down and looks at like the social and societal impacts and all of that. He's a really well-spoken, educated creator on YouTube. Um, and he's got some really interesting stuff. So I've been enjoying that. Actually, one video that he recently posted that I watched, I had to watch it in segments, but it was his Tyler Perry breakdown. So
Ooh,
he took Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry's whole success story and everything and just kind of dove really deep in like Tyler Perry, his acting, his like stories that he shows in the movies, like his history, all of that, and just kind of like where Tyler Perry is now and how he's influenced, Black culture and Black women, especially because that's his primary audience. So I've been really enjoying him as well.
my God. All right, so a couple of thoughts. So first of all, what's this YouTuber that you recommended? I gotta make sure I look them up.
I know you're gonna like that Tyler Perry video, I promise you. Because Tyler Perry was in our household.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Um, what's the YouTuber's name again?
FD signifier.
FD Signifier. Okay, I gotta look up FD Signifier on YouTube. Yeah. So AJ Vandertunt, who used to co-host on this podcast, him and I mean, there must have been like 5 or 6 times where we were talking about Tyler Perry, and it's God, like what do you say? Because like I've always loved like his come up life story. Like he has an inspiring story about coming from being a survivor of abuse and just
Mhm.
a tough home life to producing the theater productions of Medea and whatnot in Atlanta and the Chitlin circuit, and then moving on up to the movies. So great story, but there's been some criticism, certainly within some in the Black community, such as myself, that there is a how shall we say, a certain stereotype, a certain not well thought out in terms of creative writing in his shows and movies. I mean, objectively, he's still successful. I mean, if you look at his stuff on Netflix, it still trends and tops well. So his audience is still loving what he has. But at the same time, it's like, well, he is the only one writing his content. He is known for not uh doing maybe one or I mean, at tops he does maybe like no more than 1 or 2 takes on his shows and movies, and it shows. He's just kind of like, all right, let's just get it quick. Let's get it quick. Let's not really like flesh out or get into substance too well on story. Let's just kind of speed things up and move it along. Yeah, he's conflicting, and of course, with the sexual assault allegations that came out, it just makes him an even more conflicting figure. So I don't know. I definitely want to look at that video essay because I wonder, like, is he just kind of taking a sort of objective journalist perspective? If is he taking a fan perspective? Is he taking like a balanced critical perspective on Tyler Perry? Can you give me that sort of hint as to what I
Yeah,
can
I think
expect?
you hit it with the last one. I think it's more so a balanced critical perspective, but also like something about the video that he mentions is that it was kind of hard for him to figure out how to address this because there wasn't a lot of inspiration for him. And usually if you watch his videos, like he's a very knowledgeable person on YouTube. He's got a PhD, like he's very educated, and it's clear that pop culture is something of a passion for him to kind of like break open and explore. Um, but with Tyler Perry, he was a little bit stuck. And I think like that kind of shows maybe that he's not giving you like the fan perspective. That's for sure. Also, I think like Tyler Perry in and of himself is just kind of like such a massive thing to
Yeah,
break apart because it feels like yesterday when Diary of the Mad Black Woman came out,
yeah,
but it was like years ago. This man has been around us forever.
yeah,
And yes, his come up story is great, but then there's like questions about his sexuality. It's such a complex thing that
yeah.
I can understand like being the type of person that puts out content like video essays, it being hard to really break it apart. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like the video itself is so long. It's 4 hours. So there's a lot of content in there and he breaks it up into different sections like an essay. So you don't have to necessarily watch it chronologically. You can just click on a certain chapter in like the bar. I don't know the time, whatever it is, but like you can click on certain chapters. Actually, in the description, that's where he has them too. You can click on the description chapters and jump to parts of
Timestamps.
Tyler Perry. Yeah,
Mhm.
the timestamps. There you go. You can jump to the Tyler Perry points that really interest you the most, or you can like watch it full on. You can break it up like I did into a few days, like, but the information that he provides is very, I think it's really interesting, and I think it does shed light on a figure that has been so prominent in pop culture that definitely has, like, the population of African American women that are Christians wrapped around his finger,
Yeah.
main population. I think it's really interesting to, like, bring all of that up to light, especially since he is still producing these films and it's still out there. He will keep coming out with more movies. So I think, like with all media, you should criticize this, and I think FD did a really good job.
All right. And yeah, John Oliver, I mean, I've watched John Oliver since he was on the Daily Show, and then now of course he's had success with his own show on HBO Last Week Tonight. Although like I'm not in love with the show itself and his personality within the show. It's just not my cup of tea. Every now and then there will be a think piece that he does that is interesting and fascinating to see. I can objectively say that he is obviously very well researched. He knows what he's talking about. A lot of prep goes into those episodes. I had mentioned that he did a great episode on Chuck E. Cheese and the background behind that franchise, so that was really
Mhm.
fascinating to see. I like him in interviews. Like there's been a lot of late night talk show interviews with John Oliver that I've seen, and he did like a podcast with a lot of other late night hosts during the Hollywood actor and writer strike back in like 2023 called Strike Force 5, which was entertaining. Yeah, I've seen John Oliver in bits and pieces here and there, and he's been an interesting watch. Thank you for those recommendations.
Of
And
course.
Diane, before we get to your stuff, did you? It seemed like you had some thoughts about Tyler Perry. I think you were kind of nodding along, or anything you want to contribute to that end?
N I actually just had watched the Tyler Perry video essay that FD posted, and I, like, as many were actually, quick side note, before FD posted that he was gonna make a Tyler Perry video, he actually, kind of transitioned from a Sinners, review that he had posted going into then the Tyler Perry discussion, and reason being is because you think about a figure like Tyler Perry and just how powerful he is. He has his own studio. You think of like Warner Brothers, they have a studio. You think of Disney and how they have a studio. So it makes you wonder, a powerful black figure having the capabilities of maybe putting something out there that could be a disruption with everything that's going on in the world right now,
Yeah,
but chooses not to use that power. And so FD kind of wants, like, uses his video to highlight that that Tyler Perry has this power, and we might not really understand like how powerful he is in pop culture,
yeah.
but he chooses to not really do much with that, in terms of
Mm.
making a disruption and making a statement, where when we get into Sinners in our discussion, we can talk about, like, little things that we see Ryan Coogler actively do to kind of not only bring a different light when it comes to Black media, Black cinema, and but how impactful would it be if, like, Ryan Coogler, or even, I'm thinking of somebody who is prominent, a director, um,
Like Spike.
like, yes,
Spike Lee.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Spike
yeah, yeah.
Lee, like, if he and Tyler Perry, having Tyler Perry Studios as a backup, put something out there that really, really just makes a bold statement, how impactful that would be. But, I mean, you don't see Spike Lee and Tyler Perry have always kinda had this, like, feud, and now they no longer have that, but it was there, and I think Spike Lee was always kind of very radical with his approach in his films, whereas Tyler Perry wasn't. So
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Spike Lee with, I mean, you take a film like Do the Right Thing
Malcolm X.
and Malcolm X. Yeah, exactly. Like you think of Spike Lee and you think, okay, this guy has something to say about being black in America, sort of the
Mhm.
social and political realities of that. Tyler Perry can certainly talk about black culture as it pertains to like the church and
That's it.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah, like the church, like
And then
it's
you think
like
about what the messaging is, right?
right,
Mhm.
When he does
Yeah.
do when he does portray the church, or he knows his audience and he
Right.
knows what he's discussing, like what messages he's sending out to these folks.
Yeah, like if you want like commentary about like, oh, this is how black people are at the church or at the barbecue, or this is how they joke with each other at the house, like you go to Tyler Perry and then you go to Spike Lee and to some extent Ryan Coogler if you want them to say a powerful statement about what it is to be black slash a person of color in America today, and also like they can still find a way to entertain you. So
Mhm.
yeah, I now I'm really more fascinated about this video essay because I didn't even think about that until now. It's like, oh yeah, I don't know if Tyler Perry really has said anything bold in his content in terms of the realities of the harsh realities as a black
Mhm.
person. I think he does have this very escapist content when it comes to what he produces that appeals to black people, black women especially. So yeah, that's a
Mhm.
very good point. Um your pop culture, Diane. What's a TV show, movie, play, music, book, anything, anything that you're loving lately?
So similar to Nam, also participating in kind of cleansing from
Y'all with
the
Lent. Oh my
I
god.
know.
We gave it
Wait,
a
wait, wait.
go this year. We gave
Well,
it a go.
so what is the whole okay, before we get into your thing done,
Mhm.
and Natalie, please follow up with this. Why are we? I mean, it seems. I mean, it seems like a simple answer, but why are we partaking with Lent? Because obviously, the implication of Lent is just kind of giving yourself a temporary cleanse from whatever you consume on a regular basis that maybe you think is not healthy for you. Like, what is Lent something that you guys are just getting into this year, or have you done it every year? Like, what's the whole thing? Diane, you first.
I actually have never done it before. This is my first year, and that actually
Yeah.
gave me the idea of doing it because our good friend Chanel has been doing it, I think, yearly. And so it was for me, the purpose is to kind of challenge myself to get away from three things that I typically kind of lean on or maybe even depend on sometimes to kind of have this escapism. So my three things are alcohol, cannabis, and social media. So I've been off of those and I will continue. I think it's April 4th or April 2nd. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nat. Say second. So yeah, and that's my purpose for it though.
Natalie.
Yeah, it's similar. I think like the poll for me, one, I do want to say that like we are participating in like the abstinence part of Lent. Like, so anybody that's actually participating in Lent because of like their Catholic faith, I apologize if this is offensive, but I really like respect some of the discipline that religion can bring, and this is one of those things that it really pushes you to consider like what is it that you have access to, what are you leaning on, what are your vices, and if you take those away, like how does that change you? I think that
Mhm.
because we live in such a country of like affluence, we don't sometimes realize how many things we have access to that other people don't, and we don't realize how many things can be used as a vice without even thinking that it's a vice. So I think practicing moderation whenever you can is super healthy for you. And for me, it's really just building that discipline, having control over like things that are my external stimuli that I can have access to. And use or overuse, like having control over that, but also paying respect to the fact that these things come every year. It's not only Lent, this is also the season of Ramadan as
Mhm.
well. So, like, there is this sense of really connecting to yourself. At least that's how I'm feeling. It's like reconnecting to myself and reframing or reestablishing where some of my vices might be. So yeah,
How long does Lent usually last?
40
40.
days and 40 nights.
Oh, really? Literally?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I believe
Okay. Yeah.
Ramadan too.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think it's
Mhm.
around that.
Because I was like in something like Lent to a dry January, where it's like, all right, like you're gonna swear off of this thing, but for a temporary period of time. And what happens when that period of time ends? Like, are you just gonna kind of go back to where you were before? Is it gonna teach you like consuming these things in moderation? I don't know. I mean, personally, for me, I'm like, if you say for social media or whatever, YouTube, like if it's something where it's like, all right, I want to dial it down or swear it off my life, like wholeheartedly. That's something that I would prefer to do like permanently rather than, oh, I'm going to do it for this like 30 or 40-day stretch of time. So I don't know, that's just fascinating to me, like this idea of like, here's this like certain block of time where you are swearing off these things, and then once that block of time is over, what happens? Is it just going to be kind of a cycle where you kind of go back to like, oh, full force, like social media and YouTube and blah, 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 blah. And then you do the 30, 40-day thing again? Like, yeah, the end game is what's fascinating to me about that.
I think that's fair. I feel
Yeah.
like when it comes to this, even if you are going to return to whatever it is that you were doing before, at least you gave yourself the opportunity to maybe change your mind about that, or
Mhm.
or find other things to fill in that time. Like I'm hoping, still hoping that with this Lent, I will like read more. Right
Mhm.
now, I'm like filling my streaming service needs with YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I haven't gotten to the point where I'm that desperate that I'm like, not that you have to be desperate to get to the book, but like I haven't gotten to the point where I'm so bored of YouTube that I've moved on to reading. But like I am noticing these things with myself. I'm noticing in this actively. This is now 2 weeks that we've been doing Lent. And I know for me, I noticed that even something like streaming services, I was using that as a vice to distract from things that I could have been doing in that time.
Right.
So at the end of it, even if you go back, you do have like information on yourself that can be really helpful so that you can better understand yourself. And that's like the whole point of like being here is better understanding yourself as you continue to grow. So that's how I'm taking it. Will I be jumping right back onto Netflix on April 2nd? Probably. Probably.
Yeah.
But I will also know that like I have used Netflix to like avoid certain things because
Yeah.
now I'm not avoiding those things because I don't have Netflix to avoid those things with. You know?
Yes. Yeah. 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 Certainly using, I don't know. I mean, scrolling through your phone, whether it be comforting YouTube video or just a Facebook post that you would rather see than dealing with the hard things in your everyday life. Like, I totally can relate to that. I'm sorry, Diane. We did not get to your pop culture. So, okay, maybe was it maybe not anything during Lent, but it could be something before you partake in Lent, like just anything that comes to mind that you're like, "Oh my god, I would recommend this to a friend."
Yeah, so I've been on FD since before I even went on Lent. So FD is another one, but Little Bill is a YouTuber who I also follow. He does
Oh.
video essays. What?
No, 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 no. I thought you I thought you meant the
The
No.
Nick
child show?
the Nick Jr. animated series Little Bill. I was like, "Oh, we're just
He
randomly
went back.
we're just randomly watching a Nick Jr. show from like 1999 or whatever."
Wouldn't that
I mean,
be
look,
funny?
don't get
Yes,
me wrong. I mean,
I'm
I thought Little Bill was a cute show
Nick
back in the day,
Jr.'s
but
Little
I
Bill.
was like, "Oh my god, that would have been a very interesting thing to talk about." Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Little Bill, the
No, it's
video essay
okay.
part.
I couldn't help but the face. I was like, "Do you watch Little Bill?" No, Little Bill from YouTube. So FD plugs him a lot, so it made me super curious to watch him. And given that we're now doing this Lent thing, I'm not doing streaming services, but I was never really on streaming services. Well, I shouldn't say never. I should say I've been off of it for quite some time.
Yeah,
But Little Bill is a YouTube creator who also kind of touches on certain pop culture topics, kind of leftist theories as well. That it goes hand in hand with FD's. And then I'm also indulging on Mark Lamont Hill's YouTube channel. That's where I'm getting my media because social media was how I got my news, and so
yeah.
I feel so out the loop. But Mark Lamont Hill is constantly keeping me posted as to what's going on in the world, and down to Epstein files to like the war in Iran right now. So those are two. And I'm also, because of FD, I've gotten into the autobiography of Malcolm X, and this is
Oh,
an Audible that I'm listening to. So still new to it. Spike Lee's Malcolm X. I watched that film, rewatched it, I would say recently, kind of having
yeah.
now this new lens on Malcolm from FD's videos, and Little Bill's videos because they both heavily kind of speak on Malcolm X. And so having rewatched Malcolm X, Spike Lee's film, and now gotten me fascinated to want to get into the Audible. It's really hard for me to get into literature, so Audible has been like my best friend. But yeah.
My attention span has been shot down to hell when it comes to like physically reading a book. I can't do it anymore. And I hate that, but it's just like the way that, my life is going, just working long hours and doing this podcast and doing theater stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, especially when I'm driving, if I have to consume a book, it's much more easy to consume it as an audiobook than actually physically reading a book. And I miss those days because I
Mhm.
do remember the time that I was able to spend like actually opening a book and reading it through and actually being fascinated and interested by what I was reading. Um, what the hell was I thinking of? Oh, yeah, Malcolm X. Um, God, I watched that movie in college and I watched it on videotape. Natalie, remember that small TV that I had with the VCR attached to it that I would bring with me
Yeah.
to college?
Where is it? I want it.
I think I broke it. Yeah, no, yeah. I dropped it on the ground accidentally, and it's no more. It doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I watched Malcolm X then. I definitely have to rewatch it again because it's one of those movies. Like pretty much anything Denzel does, it's like you want to like randomly watch YouTube highlights of it because it's just that good.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have won the Oscar for that movie, but he did not. I don't know if you guys saw this movie, Scent of a Woman. You've heard of it?
No.
No. So Al Pacino was in it and he won the Oscar for that, but he clearly did not need to. It was a movie where he
Mhm.
basically did an impression of, God, what's that Looney Tunes character, that big chicken? Oh, well, Foghorn Leghorn. So if you, yeah, I know. I mean, he wasn't intending to do an impression of Foghorn Leghorn, but the character that he plays just ends up sounding like that. And the fact that that won the Oscar over Malcolm X is just a crime.
Dare
Yeah.
I say on purpose?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
heavily on purpose because Denzel won his Oscar for Training Day and he played a crooked cop. So you give this really well black man who's an actor an Oscar for that, but you don't give him for Malcolm X. That says something to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it's definitely creates a conversation like, oh, like this. I mean, yes, Malcolm X was controversial, but he certainly was a role model in some aspect in terms of like fighting for black people.
Mhm.
And that would have been a great thing to get an Oscar for. But Denzel, and look, he was great in Training Day. I loved it. But yeah, I mean, I think it does say something when the Oscars committee, which is probably like this largely white sort of foreign body of people, they say, oh, hey, look at this negative black stereotype, let's give the Oscar for that because you played that so well instead of
Mhm.
maybe a more positive role model. So who knows? That debate will be happening for years to come.
Mhm.
But thank you so much for that heads up, Diane. Oh my God, now you're making me want to watch Malcolm X. I really want that. I really want that in my life. So this is normally the lifestyle section of the podcast, but we are going to reserve it for sinners because it is just that great. The movie is the most Oscar nominated movie in history, 16 Oscar nominations. I mean, you name it, they got nominated for it. Best director for Ryan Coogler, best actor for Michael B. Jordan. I know Delroy Lindo got a best supporting actor nomination. Haley Steinfeld got a nomination for her performance as, what is her character's name? Mary, the ex-girlfriend of Stack. So you've watched the movie 4 times, Natalie?
Mhm. Sure did.
Wow.
Sure did.
And I mean, I guess, and for the two people listening or watching to this that may have not seen Sinners, I'll just briefly describe it. Michael B. Jordan plays these twins who originally come from Mississippi and they move up north to Chicago. They make some money doing, I believe, some like sketchy mob stuff. And they come back with their sketchy mob money to Mississippi to open this black friendly blues soul juke joint. And it's not so easy when they come back because they're met with white vampires who want to take the black juke joint culture of it all. So Natalie, let's start with you. 4 times. Holy crap. why I mean, maybe a silly question to ask because Sinners is an awesome movie, but how is it that awesome that you wanted to watch it 4 times? Were you watching it just purely like, oh my god, this is so entertaining, I gotta watch it over and over again, or were you watching it to like find meanings or things that you may have not seen like the previous watches?
Well, I think like before, because we had agreed that we were going to do the podcast on Sinners, and so that really motivated the second 2 watches to make sure that like I really knew the movie the way that I wanted to like express, because it is a great movie. So the
Yeah.
first 2 times I watched, I just watched it those first 2 times because I wanted to. I think it was literally like I just had plans with 2 different people and they both wanted to watch Sinners, so I ended up watching it twice, the first 2 times. But the second 2 times, I definitely did it intentionally because, yeah, 16 Oscar nominations is epic. And I
Yeah.
think like every single one of those are deserved. Uh but yeah, so like I watched it the 3rd time to kind of reconnect with the movie because it had been since it was out in theaters, since the last time I had watched it after, yeah, it was the theaters, and then I watched it the 3rd time to prepare for this. But then the 4th time I really wanted to see if I picked up on anything that I missed, any small things, because it's a fully packed movie. Ryan Coogler does such a great job, and every time you do watch it, at least for me, I noticed certain things.
Like what?
So, like the first time that you see Michael B. Jordan, ah, beautiful. I love the fact that they panned, so you thought there was one, but then you see that there's 2. So
Yeah, the
immediately
twins.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what's better than one Michael B. Jordan? 2 Michael B. Jordans, obviously. But like I was really fascinated by like the technique that Michael B. Jordan had to use to switch from Smoke, who's a much more like hardcore, a
Yeah.
little bit more of a curmudgeon type of
Stoic.
a
Yeah.
brother, yeah, stoic, to the little, like, lighthearted, kinda, like, fun Stack, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting, and I was super fascinated in that first scene where I don't know if you guys remember this, but, like, Smoke is looking for a cigarette. Stack, like, pulls out the cigarette, gives it to Smoke,
Yep.
lights the cigarette, Smoke smokes it,
Yep.
passes it to Stack, then they pass it back to each other, and I was just like, "Wow." Michael B. Jordan just passed himself the same cigarette twice on the screen.
20 takes of that scene. They did 20 takes of that scene
Wow.
because, I mean, as you can imagine, Michael B. Jordan, he's playing 2 people, so he had to shoot each scene twice. One with like a body double, and then the other one like where he's playing the other brother. I was looking at a Hollywood Reporter article, like they were breaking down the scene. Yeah, it was like the most complicated, demanding scene to do because on top of like trying to like get it so precise, like the timing of the passing of the cigarette to make it friendly for editing, 20 takes, and it was literally like the hottest day in Louisiana. It was so hot that the crew members, they had like these ice water towels draped over their shoulders that dried up within seconds. So you
Good
have
grief.
that hot humidity disgustingness while you're trying to get this precise thing and you're doing 20 versions of it. So yeah, I mean it's a great scene.
And he did that in 2 three-piece suits and a
Yeah,
hat. That's just insane. So, like, I really enjoyed rewatching that scene and watching this, like, impossible thing happen before my eyes. There's only 1 Michael B. Jordan, but they made 2 Michael B. Jordans, and they made them pass a cigarette back and forth, and that was
yeah.
just so like, I know that that probably, and you just mentioned it, that probably took so much time and small things like that. He didn't have to say a single word in that scene, which I don't think he really did. I think it was just the passing of the cigarette until like whoever came to make the deal. But like that, those little moments between Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan were so fascinating to me because it's like, wow, this must have taken such like the technical difficulty of it all, I imagine is awesome. So there's that, but also the fact that he is playing twin brothers who have different personalities, and
Yeah.
he showed that. Like he showed the 2 different personalities of these 2 twin brothers, And I loved it. I loved that part of it. But I also really loved, of course, the scene when they're in the juke joint and Sammy is playing.
Yeah,
You
of
know?
That's
course.
my favorite scene.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, no, Diane, talk more about that.
Oh, yeah, no, the juke joint scene where Sammy's playing and you get kind of like a lapse in time of both past and present. You just kind of see the evolution of like music and how it really did come from the blues, the Delta blues. And that was something that I think Ryan Coogler even mentions and highlights that he did very much intentionally. Like this art that was created by Black folks and how it shifts and turns even into different cultures, like this music, and how it brings community. Because the jukebox joint, it's, you know, it centers everybody into this place to kind of get away from the outside world. They're now in the South and things are, you know, still in slavery, or I'm not sure what the time frame is, Jim Crow.
Yeah,
But
Jim Crow South. Yep,
yeah,
1932.
so it's creating this escapism and bringing unity for this culture. And so it's a beautiful scene that depicts like just the different cultures that music is influenced by the blues. And I love that scene because I'm a huge believer in music just bringing community. And you see that in different facets, even currently, how it does bring us all together. So.
That scene was almost cut, and it's the most iconic scene in the movie. Yeah, I mean, you said it beautifully.
You know who cuts those scenes is usually the studios, and Tyler Perry has a studio, and again,
Yeah,
can't do anything about that, so, yeah, when you think about how it really is tough. It really is tough for these directors to put even something like that, something beautiful, and it's a statement that's very true. They can't quite put that in media because somebody else, an executive in a studio will say, "Well, we don't need that," for whatever reason, right? Because they don't see the vision or they don't quite understand what the messaging
right,
is.
right.
So
But I
Yeah,
also do think like that scene in particular did interrupt a little bit of the flow of the movie. Not in a negative way from my perspective, because I love that scene too, but it did pull you out from reality for a second. So
mhm,
it definitely is one of those scenes in a movie where I imagine like if you're a part of these production companies, you're watching it and you're like, wow.
you
And
don't
all of
get
a
it.
sudden we're like with dancers from like the Africa's diaspora, like, or
Mhm,
we're with like this futuristic guy on a guitar. Like, this is so random. They don't get
mhm,
it.
mhm,
But luckily, they didn't make the mistake of cutting that out because the viewers got it. The viewers that
mhm,
really know got it.
I took that scene for granted when I watched it the first time in the theaters. I just didn't really think anything of it, and then the second time rewatching this movie, like, here at home on HBO Max, yeah, I was just really, really taken by how it expressed, how this 1930s blues, Black-owned music really influenced other types of Black music over time. I mean, we already mentioned it. I mean, the 70s funk guitarist, the LL Cool J type hip hop dancer with this 80s aesthetic. I mean, it was, I don't know, it was, I found it to be a meditation when I was watching it this time around. You know, like, we're obviously getting all the vampire, bloody, horror, gory stuff. I think slightly before, like, I think it was already kind of building up, and then you have this scene happen, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of like was a calm, escapist meditation of what it means to be a Black artist, what Black people have created over the course of, I don't know, 100 years or so. So, yeah, I'm glad that they kept that scene in. I think it was really, really, really profound to do it, because it's just it said a lot. It said a lot without really saying much. I mean, I don't think there's really much dialogue. It's literally just
Oh, yeah. It's
Sammy singing
Sammy.
lyrics.
I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will say too, like every single time, all 4 times that I watched that scene, I got goosebumps when Sammy sang that song.
Yeah,
mhm.
Every single
yeah.
time.
I had no idea Miles Caden, he was an opening act for her, the singer. That's how he got
Oh, I didn't
discovered.
know that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I heard that.
I didn't even know
Mhm,
he
this
was
is
a
his
singer at all.
debut
I
acting
just thought
career. Mm,
I just thought he was like some kind of like unknown aspiring actor, but no, he was literally already a singer opening for her. And
mhm.
I think after one concert, her was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, like, Ryan Coogler and his people, they're looking to have you audition for this big top secret movie." And then boom, there you go. Miles Caden is now on top of the world. Oh my God,
Yeah, I
that's
love that guy.
For it to be his debut acting is insane.
Mhm.
yeah. let's talk about his performance for a little bit because like there was a certain I don't know I loved the there's just something about the bass in his voice, just the way he delivered his dialogue. He had a certain vulnerability that I loved in his portrayal of the character. Just a sort of I don't know. It's a sort of a wonderment about you know the world of music making and when he gets with the twins and they establish the juke joint. I certainly felt his fear in the beginning when he's coming in all bloody with the torn up guitar, and then you know of course we watch the movie further and see how it leads up to that moment. I don't know, any additional thoughts that you guys had about the performance?
Loved Sammy. I thought he was great. Again, I was super impressed when I found out he's never like acted in such a big screen like this before.
Yeah, yeah.
But something that I did want to touch on, which is FD pointed out, is like his theory. And also, I've watched a lot of reviewers because again, I'm in the YouTube world and YouTube space. So I was like, Sinners review. Let's see what I've missed. And then in that, I rewatched and then kind of can see how and where these folks got this idea. So FD touches on the end of Black art and how Sammy is representative, perhaps potentially, of Ryan Coogler, and
Oh,
Ryan Coogler is very much aware of the fact that he has this ability to this talent, this gift of writing and being a director. Because he wasn't always going to be. He literally became a director because a teacher told him, "Hey, like you are a great writer, you should go into Hollywood."
mhm.
And he went off because he was going to be a football player. I think he was really good at
Oh,
playing
really?
football. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he never thought. And so once he started going into directing and making these short films, small films, people were putting him like saying he was really good, like he's super talented. And then he landed Fruitvale Station as his first project, and that kind of set it off from there because he's literally has not missed since. He's done Creed, he's done Black Panther, and then
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. So it's like literally back to back. He's in trending upward with Sammy. Going back to Sammy and this idea of like the death of Black art, because you see the actor who play or what's the character's name that plays the lead vampire? Remick?
Rennig, yeah, yeah, I think Rennig
Rennick.
is yeah.
So you see how he's like attracted to Sammy's art in the film, and how he hears the music and that's what lures him in and wants to kind of take
Right.
over. And so they're saying that like Remick is kind of symbolic to like a studio who is going to profit off of Ryan Coogler's art. As
Ah,
Ryan, yeah, and how that could potentially how Ryan Coogler is kinda, like, at odds with it because he loves his art. Sammy loves this gift that he has, but he knows that it's drawing in this evil that's kinda like vampirism. They talk about how Karl Marx referenced in his, literature how capital is dead labor that vampire-like on lives by sucking the living labor and lives, and more labor it sucks. So kind of depicting like Remick wanting this art to himself, and how studios kind of want to profit off of black art. So it's
yeah.
just very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I was also thinking about, like, how well-known iconic white musicians like Elvis Presley or, you know, Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones, have
Mhm.
clearly, you know, taken from Black artists to further their success. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, from a studio executive perspective, from a white musician taking from Black art perspective, I mean, it really like, you get all of that in Sinners. Elroy Lindo, I gotta say, him as Delta Slim, great performance. I think my favorite part was when he was in the car with Stack and Sammy, and they're driving toward the juke joint that's about to be
Yep.
open, and Delroy, as he's you know pounding down a few drinks, talks about I think a buddy of his who like
Rice. Yeah, I love that.
Rice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, who was trying to make it, and then, you know, he gets caught by the Ku Klux Klan, and then he gets
Mhm.
lynched, and something I didn't even notice from the first watch in the movie theater, the second watch here at home was you can actually hear the sounds
Yep.
of Delta Slim's friend being
The
lynched as he's
flashback
telling the
sound.
story, so,
Mhm.
yeah, a great moment there. Any thoughts about that character at all for in between you guys?
Delroy Lindo is iconic.
Mhm.
He's one of those actors that has been in so many things, and you probably don't realize that you've been watching him for years and years if you're consuming like certain media, like black media. He's been in a number of films and stuff and shows. There's this show on Hulu that I enjoyed watching that he's a part of. But anyway, yeah, Delroy Lindo's character is amazing. And I really love that scene too, where he's talking about his Delta Slim and Rice and like when they got arrested and all of that. That was one of my favorite Sammy scenes as well because I noticed when rewatching it, um, you can see like the excitement that Sammy has to understand what life is like outside of Mississippi, outside of where he is in
Yeah.
Mississippi, and then
Right.
like the sheer disappointment on his face when he hears some of these stories of like Delta Slim and what happened with him and like even when some of the twins disclose some of their own personal stuff, you could
Mm,
see
mm.
like this like boy, it's like there it's he Sammy's the younger cousin. You can see like this young boy just kind of being excited to be around their older cousin, but then like being hit with the truth of like reality and what
Right.
it is like for a black man because the black men with him who are older have experienced life in a way that he hasn't yet and he's
Yeah.
looking
Mhm.
to do that. So he's like fantasizing, but like those fantasies can go only go so far. Like when you hear, I think Stack said Chicago's just like Mississippi, just with tall buildings,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tall buildings instead of plantations. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, Sammy's, like, asking this question, like, "How is Chicago? I heard a black man can be free," and that was the response that Stack gave, like, "Oh, it's no different. There's just tall
Right.
buildings." It's, like,
Right.
so disappointing, and you can see that. So I really loved Sammy's acting in moments where he didn't even have to say anything. But yes, with Delroy Lindo's character, there's so many points in the movie that are just amazing, like when they first approach him at the train station
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
this, like, back and
Pumped him
forth
with
between
Irish beer, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, like and, like, even that scene I love that scene when they're trying to eat the garlic to find out who's the vampire in the group, and, like, Delroy Lindo is having the most ridiculous reaction garlic, and then you think, like, "Oh my god, he's gonna be a vampire," and he's like, "Nope,
He
drank
just
too
hates
much."
it.
It's like,
Yep, yep, yep,
"Delroy."
yep.
You're like,
Um,
"Slim, stop."
and there was a moment of suspense, maybe like, I don't know, before or after like the white vampires showed up, where Delroy's character took a pause and then just said like, I think I shat myself, something like that. But
Yeah, he was
yeah.
such comedic relief,
He
like,
was.
for such a serious movie in serious times, like and I feel like that is so hard to do, like, to actually deliver a joke when, like, we're really talking about you guys are gonna die in 5 minutes because Grace, I think that's her name, the shop owner, the Asian shop owner,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah, who opened the door. Let me confirm that that's actually her name and not assume. But yes, Grace Chow. So she totally was about to open the door and let all of these vampires in, and here's Delroy Lindo still being comedic, and
Right.
it's
Right.
great. So yeah, nothing bad to say about Delroy Lindo's performance at all. I think he did stellar.
How
And
about
to Nat
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
No, and to Nat's point about how difficult it is to be the comedic relief in these like, because it's like a horror drama, I guess you could depict Sinners as.
Sure.
But it to be the comedic relief in like even something so serious tone or dark tone, sometimes you kind of go back and forth between like the annoyance. It's like, oh, you're kind of taking away from like what's happening right now. And
Mhm.
typically that's how I feel whenever I watch like something serious. But Delroy Lindo was like right spot on with the humor, it had the theater laughing at those moments, but also still, like, feeling this film, that what it didn't take away from the film by any means, and so, yeah.
I
Let's
also
not
wanted to point out too, sorry, not
No, no,
to
you're
like
fine.
to go on and on about Delroy Lindo, to be a character who's like portrayed as this like this kind of drunk, like yes, he was clearly he has a reputation. So like whoever knows him around
Right.
is respecting him, but he's like a drunk making like probably not that much. But like he shows such a in contrast to Sammy's dad in the movie, he shows, like, another side of, like, a father figure to Sammy that I really enjoyed, to see, like, both, like, the preacher, because he is preacher boy,
Mhm.
but also Delta Slim imparting these wisdoms onto Sammy and, like, him continuing in this journey of being conflicted between,
Yeah.
like, "Should I follow, like, what my dad and, like, the right path, like, what God says, or should I go down this path, like, almost like going down to hell to where the blues and all this music and, like, the secular stuff is?"
Mm.
I just thought it was really interesting that, like, Sammy had both, like, he had Preacher and he had Delta Slim as, like, a father figure type, in the movie, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah. And to that religious point that you had mentioned, I think the quote that sticks with me is and maybe the preacher said this to Sammy in the beginning. The quote about if you keep dancing with the devil, like one day he's gonna follow you home.
Mhm.
Yeah, that quote, yeah, that definitely stuck with me. In terms of comedic moments, let's not forget Cornbread, like stopping and
Yes.
restarting his pissing just before he was about to get attacked from the white vampires. And look, I got entertained by the white vampires. I mean, particularly when they were playing their "Pick Poor Robin Clean" song as they were trying to get into the juke joint. Like I thought that was just beautiful. It was a beautiful, calming bluegrass song, but it was also kind of a bluegrassy song that just made me laugh. And I thought they had a very beautifully choreographed Irish step dance vampire madness thing going on when everybody was just like, yeah, they were pretty much possessed, and Michael B. Jordan's vampire stack was included in that as well. Yeah, so many great moments to take from this movie. To speak to a previous point about the physicality difference, like of like Smoke and Stack. To add to that, Michael B. Jordan like intentionally like had different shoe sizes.
I
As
heard about that.
yeah, yeah. You heard about that, Diane? So I think
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think for Stack, he had a smaller shoe size because he wanted like that tension with Stack that would keep him like moving and bouncing around to like match
Mhm.
the energy of his character. And I guess Smoke just had either Michael B. Jordan's regular shoe size or a bigger shoe size. So
Bigger.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But you heard about that, right?
Mhm. It's kinda to intentionally make him slower, cause Smoke is kind of like the uncle or father-like, and
Hmm.
Stack is more so like the cool, like, rebellious one, I guess you could say, and so that was very much intentional to kind of portray these 2 different personalities. Smoke is much more strategic, slower, wouldn't intentionally lie, whereas Stack, probably would, more, fast-paced, I would get maybe impulsive, you would say. Mm.
Did you guys think the movie was too gory at times or at all? Because my therapist, and I don't know, I mean, she's a white woman of a certain age. I mean, she tried to watch it, but it couldn't get through like a few minutes of it because like it was like the blood is too much. And I'm like, no, I think I've seen a lot worse than what Sinners had. I don't know what
100%.
yeah,
A
right?
lot worse
Yeah.
is out there. A
Yeah.
lot worse is out there.
Mhm.
I mean, if anything, there was definitely moments where like as the blood was like spurting out of the people as they were being possessed by vampires. I really was seeing like such a sort of artifice, a sort of fakeness to it. It did seem very more juicy or yeah, cranberry beet juicy rather than like genuine looking blood. So I think that was a big part of like why I didn't mind the goriness of it. So yeah, I mean, I know that Michael B. Jordan, he hated it's being covered in fake blood. He was talking about that, how that was like the worst thing ever because when you're wearing those 1930s suits and then you have the fake blood all over it, like it essentially like sticks to your suit the longer like you're wearing the suit with the blood. And yeah, he was talking about how nice it was that Ryan Coogler, like because there was a scene like you remember the scene where like Smoke is emotionally holding Stack as he's like dying and he's about to be possessed as a vampire. So they did however many takes and they had to like reset up on cameras and lighting and blah, blah, blah. So Michael B. Jordan's just kind of like sitting there and waiting with the fake blood and his 1930s suit, just everything sticking onto him because it was much easier to just hold like that rather than like change out and try to clean himself off. And he was talking about how Ryan Coogler was offering to sit next to him and suffer with him in the fake blood because
That's
no, Ryan
great.
Coogler's reputation is that like I'm not going to ask an actor to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So yeah, I just
Mhm.
thought that was a very beautiful story of two people just sitting in fake blood together in unity.
It's all for the sake of art. For
Yeah,
good
Yeah.
art.
great art.
Mhm.
I always
Yeah.
thought it was funny too how Michael B. Jordan died in his own arms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I
That's
think
like all of those scenes are funny. Like when he's saying, like when they were at the truck and like they were about to split up for that first part of the movie where Stack was gonna go with Sammy to go pick up Delta Slim, and
right.
like they do the dap and they're like, love you, gonna see you soon." It's like Michael B. Jordan just told him so he loved him like twice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Michael B. Jordan, yeah, the first take he had to do I guess he had to hold a bloody body double in his arms, and then the second take was maybe space? I don't know. I mean, it does take a lot of convincing and acting and imagination to hold your fake twin in your arms. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh my god. 500 pounds of cotton was used, by the way, for this movie. 500 pounds of cotton.
wow.
I know.
Mm.
I know.
Is that what like Sammy was like lugging? Or was that part of the cotton that was used, or was that just a prop?
I don't know, I'm just thinking of the plantation scene, right? Because there was the
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Or was that all prop, or was that, like, actual cotton?
it was actual cotton. Yeah,
Oh,
they wanted to make it
interesting.
as authentic to 1930s Scottish Louisiana as or Mississippi. I mean, they shot the movie in Louisiana because it was good on taxes. But yeah, the movie itself takes place in Mississippi. But yeah, I guess they
Mm,
wanted to be authentic to it, so they ordered 500 pounds of cotton. So there you go. But
all for art.
I know,
Mhm.
I know. What are I don't know if you guys care about the Oscars at all, but any predictions or do you have any opinions on who you think should win what award?
I think Sinners should win them all,
Yes.
Yeah,
I honestly didn't watch any of the other I don't even I
Mhm.
looked through, like, the different,
one battle
sections.
one battle after another. I've seen that. That's fantastic. I highly recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it.
I wanted to see Marty Supreme, but then Lent came. You know Lent. So my hands are tied. I was really planning on watching some of the other ones, but like, yeah, I can't beat the calendar. Lent is here and I committed. So I'll be watching some of those movies after, but I'm gonna root for Ryan Coogler and the cast to win and the crew to win. Cause I
Yeah,
think like the costumes, I think they got nominated for like the costumes and stuff. I'm pretty sure. I think I like skimmed through it,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. That's one of the nominations. Yep, yep.
and they
For
also got nominated for the scoring, like,
hmm
Mhm.
it's definitely Best Picture, like, let's not kid ourselves here. It's definitely up there.
I'm afraid because this has happened where a movie like Sinners has a record amount of nominations and
And then
it's
they get one win.
yeah, one win or
Yeah.
nothing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's like a surprise upset. So I'm fearing that's what will happen because I think that's kind of what happened with Sinners at one of the other award show ceremonies. It might have been the Critics' Choice Awards or the Golden Globe Awards, but I think it was the recent SAG Actor Awards ceremony that happened where they got their due. I know that Michael B. Jordan won an actor award at that recent ceremony, so that's nice. So yeah, I'm kind of concerned. I'm because you know, especially with the Oscars and their reputation for awarding some like 4 hour long prestige drama over something like Sinners, which is like both great art, but also got people's butts and seats and made a lot of money. I wanted to get its due. So we'll see what happens. Anne, did you see any other of the movies in the Best Picture category, or was Sinners the only thing that you saw too?
Sinners was the only one that I saw.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about the other ones, but I'm rooting for Sinners. I do understand what you're saying though, because we were just talking about Denzel Washington and how they did him. So Oscars, I think, is known for not awarding certain films because of the messaging that it's given. I think because there's so much conversations had about Sinners and the true message of what it's trying to portray, they may not get the award simply because of that. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Mm. All right. Well, the Oscars are, I don't know, a week. It's March
Isn't
We're
like a
recording
week
this
after.
on Wednesday, March 4th. So I believe the Oscars is on March 15th. So it's going to be a week from this coming Sunday. So we will see what happens. And if Sinners wins, we will all be celebrating because it is
We're popping champagne because it
Yep.
should win. It should win.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
At least 3 Oscars. And it's
Absolutely.
gonna be Best Picture, Best Actor, and Delroy Lindo should get a
Best
Delroy Lindo
director? Best director, possibly? Come on, best
Best
director for
director.
Ryan?
Best director, but
Yeah.
then Delroy Lindo for supporting actor.
Then, yeah, Delroy
Yeah.
Lindo should get an Oscar. Like, he really should. The man is in his 70s, beautiful actor. And he's
Yeah.
got such a history. Like, if he doesn't already, I should know about Delroy Lindo's Oscar or whatever, his award history. If he doesn't already have an Oscar, like, he should absolutely get one for this
Yeah.
movie.
This
And
might
then
be
that's
his first nomination. Hold on.
maybe.
I didn't even know he was British. He's a British actor.
He is, but I think he was raised in America, so he doesn't have the accent if you actually watch his interviews.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Born in London. All right. He has a Tony Award nomination under his belt.
I think I knew that. I think I knew he had the Tony. Because
Yeah.
he's on the stage.
Right. Yeah, no, I think this might be his first nomination for Sinners. So we're definitely pulling for him. I think I had a conversation with somebody on another podcast. What do you guys think about like Michael B. Jordan's acting in general? Because I think I had made the point that like Michael B. Jordan, I think, isn't the greatest actor, but he somehow finds himself in really great movies and TV shows. Does that make any sense? Like he has I don't know, there's a certain there's a certain reserved leading man quality that he has that I guess makes sense for movies. Obviously, a lot of ladies find him attractive. I get that as well. But yeah, somehow he just finds himself in great stuff. I mean, I remember watching him as a kid on the show The Wire. He was great in that. He was great in Friday Night Lights. And then obviously he has all the success in movies. Sinners might have been the first one where it's like, oh, okay, like I see him like really putting in some performing chops. This is kind of different than what I've seen in the past. But yeah, I don't know. I've never like looked at Michael B. Jordan and thought, oh, wow, this is a very talented, multi-layered actor with like a lot of range and blah, blah, blah. I just look at him as, all right, like he has a reserved natural presence and he just happens to be in a lot of great stuff. Any thoughts on that?
I think what's helped him tremendously is the fact that he's landed such a good friendship with Ryan Coogler, because a lot of they go hand in hand with the work that they've done together since the very beginning of Ryan Coogler's career, and Ryan Coogler is just a phenomenal director. So to your point, I do think that he's had that kind of assist in his career in terms of his acting and why he's in such good movies. But I will also say that The Wire, I did enjoy his character in The Wire. He was such a young actor. Fantastic Four is the only film that I was like, ooh. But then I also think about Chronicle, when he was depicting this. So I'm thinking projects outside of Ryan Coogler, and Chronicle wasn't a Ryan Coogler film. Then I did enjoy his acting there. Although it was brief because he like died. He was like the first one that died, I believe. But definitely, he wasn't maybe a standout, but I didn't mind his acting. So to your point, I would agree, and I would say that Ryan Coogler was definitely something that's helped him in his career for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Diane, and I agree with you as well, Nata. Like, I feel like it's definitely. And I just realized I just called you your nickname.
No, that's good. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm so close to doing it too. I'm like,
I just called you your nickname. I'm sorry.
No. Don't apologize. I would have been. I would have gotten the ick if you had called me John. Yeah. And I was actually thinking about that. I was actually thinking about that going into this episode. I was like, oh God, are they going to call me John? Are they going to make it weird and call me John?
No, but no one else can call him that.
Yeah, no one calls him
No
that.
one else can call him his nickname. It's a family household name. But anyway,
just to give context for those listening and watching.
Yeah.
So my name is Jonathan, short for John, part of Jonathan, Nathan. We come from a Haitian family, me and Natalie. And Nathan, I guess the Haitian way that we've came up with saying it, Nata. If you want to find a pronunciation, I think Diane, you were the one that started off the spelling as Natuhhhh. Is that what it's?
Not
Yeah.
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 That's
No, there was. I remember, like, Natalie, when we, because I used to do radio in Iowa, and you and our the CJ came to visit me, and you were on the radio with me one day, and you called me John, and I just remember being like, oh God, that doesn't sound right. Why was no? Don't do that again. So yes, thank you for calling me Nata.
Yeah.
Continue with your
No, it
points.
But yeah, so now I completely lost my point.
Michael B. Jordan's acting. Your thoughts?
Yes. So, yeah, I agree. I think that he landed the jackpot with his friendship with Ryan Coogler. I feel like Ryan Coogler like casts him in roles that really do show his strengths in acting. Do I feel like yeah, like I totally think that he could be better, but I also anticipate that he's got a long career ahead of him and we'll see a lot more of Michael B. Jordan. And his acting improve. My only thing is that I think we can only really see that improvement if he does have other directors that he can work with that also highlight some of his strengths and know how to work with him as an artist. Because Ryan Coogler clearly knows how to work with him and does a great job
Yeah.
of producing these movies where Michael B. Jordan is a character who does well. And even if he's not like the most stylistically like amazing, like we can all agree that those characters like in Creed and in this movie, like with Sinners and Wakanda Forever and all of that, like with the Black Panther film, like that's a great Michael B. Jordan, you
Yeah.
know? It's fun to see somebody grow up on the screen, and I do think like he's got room to improve. But for now, like he hit the jackpot with Ryan Coogler. I don't think he
Yeah.
would be as successful if he didn't have a director like Ryan Coogler on his side.
Yeah. No. I think they're another version of like the Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese collaboration. I'm also thinking of when Johnny Depp and Tim Burton used to do a lot
Yeah, I
of
was gonna
movies
say
together.
Johnny Depp and Tim
Yeah.
Burton.
Yeah. So
Or even like Adam Sandler and his whole group of buddies that he always does. It just
Like,
works. It works.
yeah, like Michael and Ryan, they just found their match. I'm fine. I would be definitely fascinated to see Michael stretch out and work with other directors, see how he handles that. But I also wouldn't mind if he's just like, no, I'm just gonna fuck with Ryan Coogler. Like he has gotten me
Honestly.
this far, and also I just love there's an authenticity to Ryan that I just want to see more of and in the film industry, if that makes any sense. I mean, basically what I'm saying is like I see an interview with this guy on the Breakfast Club, and this may have been the first time that I've seen him interviewed, and this is a guy that I feel like I could just have a conversation with, like on the street or at the bar or whatever. Like he has a really heavy Oakland accent, and just someone of his caliber, just being this black man from Oakland who just has a very like casual demeanor about himself, like just doesn't like put on any airs. Like he just feels like a human being. And for the fact for him to make it as far as he has in the film industry, I mean, I just want more of that. So the more Michael works with him, I think is all the better, because yeah, I just think Ryan is awesome, especially that deal that he made with Warner Brothers, because he made a specific deal in the contract where like he basically owns Sinners financially and sort of creative licensing wise till the end of time, because I think that other filmmakers would just be like, all right, like a significant portion of the ownership and what have you, like I'll give that to the studio. But Ryan really believes in his product and ownership of it, and he made sure that he was just going to get everything that he could out of Sinners. Yeah,
As he
great.
should.
Yeah. So
And if you watch his interviews too, when they ask him about that, because it was very much highlighted when that he did this contract with Warner Brothers, and he kind of, I think it was the Democrat Now's interview with Ryan Coogler.
yeah,
They asked him like, why do you think that there's so much talks about you in this contract? He's like, well, let me just preface, this contract is not foreign to other folks or directors who've done contracts similarly to what I'm
oh
doing with Warner Brothers. But I'm not, he's like, he's very intentional with what he says in these interviews to not, I would say, kind of disrupt and kind of lose audience who enjoys Sinners, because
Right.
again, I do think there's an intention behind Ryan Coogler's work in general, what he's doing, and so but yeah, he carefully pleads the fifth on that one as to why he gets highlighted as to making this contract deal with Warner Brothers. So I'm like, okay. There was a Hannah Flint interview that he did too, where she kind of goes into the Karl Marx aspect because she's like, capitalism, you're making a broad statement, and he goes, "Do you know where I'm from?" And he's so even saying that he's letting people know he's from, you said it, Oakland. Oakland is, he says it's the same block of where the Black Panther Party originated from, where
Yeah.
Huey P. Newton. And so all of that, and so it's like he says it would be like my art would maybe reflect some of that because he grew up on that. So it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow. Well, great conversation about Sinners. Best of luck to it at the Oscars. Thank you guys for hanging on. I know I kept you way past your time, but yeah, this was great. This was great. Thank you so much. And for those of you listening and watching The Delicious Culture, consume it wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, SiriusXM, wherever. If you're on Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating if you like the podcast. If you're on Apple, leave us a written review. That really helps. Email any feedback that you may have about this episode, thedeliciousculture@gmail.com. That is thedeliciousculture@gmail.com. And follow on social media at The Delicious Culture on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Follow, subscribe, comment, like, share, all that good stuff at The Delicious Culture. I definitely want to do a permanent Lent on social media because I maybe I've said it before, but I don't like it. But it's a part of content promotions. that would be my request. If I were ever to do a Lent, it would be a permanent Lent on social media because it's too overstimulating.
Oh yeah, I
It
get
can
that.
be. Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of maybe social media or promoting or whatever, I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys, Natalie, Diane, anything you want to promote, whether it be Lent or anything out there, good causes or any upcoming projects or fun things that you're doing? Go ahead. Your time to shine.
I know I want to promote community.
Yeah.
I would like everybody to really reflect on community. Um, Only because it's so necessary. As we're talking about like social media and art and stuff, like it's really important, I think, that people connect with one another and find their tribe. If you're out searching for a tribe, like maybe find different areas to look. I don't know, but I do want to promote community. I think it would be helpful for everybody to just even reflect on it, like whether or not you have a community. And if you don't, come to the Delishees community because
Yeah.
you can find a home here.
There you go. How about you, Diane?
Similarly to Nat, I'll shout out support local businesses, guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's one way to find community as well. Is with when it comes to what's going on and globally, I think sometimes we kind of feel like we need to isolate and. I don't know, maybe escapism, consumerism, I think is a real thing. And instead of funding these corporations, let's support these mom and pop shops. Or I know that that's one of the reasons why I wanted to shout out 881 Grab and Go. But I also know a lot of local owned businesses here in Hartford that are really about community, as Natalie put it. Samia Cafe is another one. Fresh Five Deli is another one too that does so much work for community and this in this climate specifically. I think it's crucial. So
Yes. From where you guys are in Connecticut to where I am in Vermont to anywhere where the audience is listening and watching, yes, support your local community, your mom and pop businesses, because it is a tough time for all of them. It is very easy to stick with the big conglomerates like your Amazon and order stuff. I get it. It's very convenient. I've been guilty of that myself, but yeah. There's nothing like that connection that you have with the person next door who wants to sell you the best cupcake ever. So take
And it's made
advantage.
with love. It's made with love usually. They're
Yes,
not making anything with love in a corporation.
ex-
right.
exactly. Jeff Bezos has no love in his heart.
No. Sold
All
his
right.
lucky stuff for shares.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, Natalie and Diane. Hope to have you on the show again next time. And for all of y'all listening and watching, all the Delishees out there, let deliciousness ring.
Let it ring.